On to the world of sports, where we've seen some shock results at the Women's World Cup. Both hosts were knocked out early on, and football giants Brazil, Germany, and South Korea were all sent packing early on. But few would have predicted the biggest shock of all, the most dominant nation in Women's World Cup history being dumped out in the last 16. Adam, who's back in Singapore having been down under covering the tournament, looks at the reaction.
For so long, the US women's national team have been the dominant force in football, but not anymore. They were chasing a third consecutive World Cup win in Australia and New Zealand, but that dream has turned into a nightmare after they were dumped out in the round of 16 on penalties against Sweden. Now, USA fans who are used to winning a lot were not happy after the match, with their coach Vlatko and Vanovsky coming in for a lot of criticism. This is a tweet from former US men's player Hercules Gomez. Losing to a stingy Swedish team in penalty kicks after dominating possession for 120 plus minutes isn't a disaster. But you could have avoided Sweden if not for an abysmal showing in group play. Disastrous tournament for Vlatko, historically disastrous. Now, the USA had two chances in the penalty shootout to book their place in the quarterfinals, and they missed both of them. One of those penalties was missed by veteran USA player Megan Rapinoe, who is retiring after the tournament. She blasted the ball over the bar, but was then caught on camera smiling and laughing as she walked back to her teammates. It's fair to say a lot of USA fans were not happy. This is US football fan Richard Aaron on social media after the match. Rapinoe laughing after she missed the penalty kick. All you got to know about this squad. But some did defend her. Here's another USA fan, Dan O'Donnell, saying, "Look, I don't particularly like Megan Rapinoe either, but I completely understand laughing in absolute disbelief and frustration there." And if crashing out of the World Cup wasn't enough, the USA team have also upset the entire city of Melbourne. Before the game, their official Twitter account put out this tweet saying, "Under the lights in Melby." That made Melbourne residents furious. It's a term they'd never use to describe their own city. Here's journalist Leonardo Puglisi summing up exactly how that went down. He said calling Melbourne Melby should lead to immediate prison time. So crashing out of the World Cup and with the entire city of Melbourne on their backs, the US women's national team will be glad to get on the plane and put the last few weeks behind them.